Good morning, Quirky Birders. It's Lynn here, and welcome to episode 3 of your daily art challenge. So, as you know, if you've taken part in these series before, usually when we get to Wednesday, it's usually a more detailed video that we need to be working on, because today is the day where we sort of start bringing the painting out and lifting it off the paper really. So we're going to be popping in a few more little details to our lovely little coastal cottage design. One of the things that we're going to begin with doing is we're going to be popping in a little tree, and we're going to be popping this tree in just here. Now, it's entirely up to you how you do your tree. You could do it bare, so it's more branch-like, so you would actually use something like a rigger brush if you wanted to do that. Or you could do it as a little fir type tree with some nice bushy leaves. So it's entirely up to you how you build your tree. I'm going to use a little fan brush for my tree, but first of all we need to mix in a little bit of colour. So to begin with, I'm going to use a little bit of brilliant green. So I'm going to apply some brilliant green into my palette. So I've got a nice rich green. And I'm also going to use a little bit of the olive green. So I'm going to mix that in there too. So I've got some olive green and I've also got the brilliant green. Now, because we're working on this painting and we're doing an awful lot with regards to light to dark, that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the lighter of the greens. I'm going to start with the olive green. And all I'm going to do is just dip my fan brush into the paint, dabbing the excess off. And then I'm almost just going to stipple my tree. Like so. Now I am going to bring the leaves of the tree over the gable end of the cottage. So I'm just going to work over the gable end of the cottage. And then using just a little bit of the brown, pop in that little bit of a tree trunk. I'm going to lift that excess paint up. Like so. Now I'm also going to put a little bit of a bush along this area here. So again, I'm going to use exactly the same process and colour. I'm going to use the olive green, load up my fan brush, and I'm just going to make a little sort of bush shape. like so. And then we can do the same thing again. Again, just load that fan brush up. I love using this brush because it really just creates some wonderful effects. Just dry that excess off and then just stipple your way along the edge of the driveway. Like so. You can use the fans just to put yourself some little bits of long grass in there as well. And it's just a lovely, lovely brush to use. You really do get some nice effects. And you can see straight away that it really is beginning to change now, and that just adding even those few little bits, the texture and detail to the painting is really beginning to change. So I just want to work on this little area here, and we just need to put in a little bit of shading here. So I'm going to be using just a little bit of that olive green. Like so. Now we're going to carry on and use our lovely little fan brush, and I'm going to use some of that darker brilliant green. So again, just load up the little fan brush, using the darker colour, taking off any excess, and then just repeat the process on your little trees. Just putting in those extra darker colours. And then just do the same again on the little bush. And also you can then pop in some extra long bits of grass around the edge of the fence there. Okay, so I'm going to carry on now just using the rigger brush just to put some lovely little shading details to the picture. And you just need to do this yourself, just be able to sort of work your way quite methodically around your painting. You can mix the tones of browns. But just add in those different colours. So I'm just working on the sides of the posts. And just work our way along the top. Now, just using that brown, I'm just going to put a couple of little chimney pots just on the top of the little chimneys. Just put those little squares just on the top of the little cottage there. And then what we can do is we can just then start to put in a little bit more shading around the cottage itself. So again, just using that nice pale grey. Only this time I'm just going to add in a little bit of ochre to the grey. And what the ochre does is just gives you just that sort of almost like a rusty colour. It just adds a little bit of warmth to the colour. And again, you can use your rigger brush for this. It works absolutely fine. And you're just going to just bring a couple of little shadings, little highlights and details to your little cottage. So concentrate on following those pencil lines. Now the thing with this type of painting, especially when you're working from light to dark, is to just put the little subtleties, so the subtle bits of shading. You don't want anything too much. Like so. I'm just going to bring that colour now just down along the side of the roof line. And also along underneath. Put those window frames in. add in the windowsill. And it's just doing these little bits of detailing that actually just bring your painting to life. So it really does begin to lift that painting off the page. I'll just put a couple of bits of shading along this edge here. Come around the door. And then just put some just a little bit of shadowing just along that wall. Again, nothing too much, just keep it nice and loose. Like so. And I'm just going to put just a little bit more, just a bit of a wash almost really, just along this far edge of the cottage. And again, you can just use your rigger brush. Just use it sort of quite flat. Just to put that little bit of colour. Like so. Just bring a little bit along the top of the chimney. Okay. And do remember that when you're doing things like this and you're doing the shading, the colour will always dry lighter. So don't, if it is going on a little bit too dark or you're a little bit worried about it, just do bear in mind that it will lighten up. Okay. Okay, so I'm happy with that. We just need to let that dry just for a little while. So I will be back tomorrow for episode 4 of your daily art challenge. And tomorrow we're going to introduce a little bit more colour to the design. So we're going to pop some different colours into the sea, also on this backdrop here. And we're going to pop some little flowers and things just along this, this little hedgerow here. And also work on the driveway. But yeah, I do hope you're enjoying this process. I am around if you need me. If you have any questions at all, then please do not hesitate to message me. and I shall see you all again tomorrow. Goodbye.